Hi, my name's Brendon. Today I have a 20-minute yin yoga class for you that is all about opening up the hips. So for yin yoga, it's really nice to have some props. For this class, you might want a block and maybe a couple of blankets, or you could use some couch pillows or something like that. Just a couple of things to help you find more ease within the postures. So go ahead and gather your things and meet me on the mat. We'll begin in dangling, which is our only standing pose for this class today. So bring your feet hip width distance apart and just let your upper body fold over the lower body. Keep your knees pretty bent. Allow your head and neck to relax. You could keep your hands on the floor for this, or you could grab opposite elbows, adding a little bit of extra weight so you can find more spinal decompression. If this is not comfortable for you to do standing, you could take a seat with your legs stretched out in front of you and fold over the legs for a seated forward fold. Another option for this is to grab your blanket or fold up the mat, place it under the heels just to lift your heels up a little bit. You may find a little more ease that way. We will be here for a couple more minutes, so make sure you're feeling something in your back, maybe in the backs of your legs as well, but you don't want to be feeling too much. And of course, nothing sharp or shooting, no pain in yoga. If you've never practiced yin before, this is a pretty still and quiet practice, so it can be kind of difficult for our brains that like to be super busy. So you might have a lot of thoughts floating through your mind. If you do, just notice them and just let them be. As we bring the body to stillness, often the mind will also come to stillness, but it doesn't happen right away. Let's take 3 more breaths. Release your elbows if you have a hold of them. Heel toe your feet out wider, and then sink your hips down toward the floor, coming to a squatting position. So again, if it would feel better to lift your heels up, or if your heels don't come to the floor easily here, you can double up the mat, place your heels on a blanket. You could also have a seat on a block. Any of those options are good. We're only here for 1 minute. So you could bring hands to heart center, or just allow the arms to comfortably rest in front of you. Last 3 deep breaths in this position. Now plant your hands behind you just so you can take a seat. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide, so you have butterfly legs. So if you notice that when you're in this position, your low back is pretty rounded like that, go ahead and grab a blanket or a pillow and have a seat on that, just on the edge of it, so that your low back can be nice and flat. And for the yin version of this pose, generally the feet are farther out in front of us than in a vinyasa class. And for this version in particular, we're going to add zipper toes. So you just interlace the toes like we would interlace the fingers. This may feel kind of weird. It is a little bit, but it helps to stimulate all the Chinese meridians that run through the lower body because they all end in the toes. So once you have your zipper toes, feel free to fold forward. The back can round. Relax your head. We're here for about 3 minutes. As the time goes on, you may notice that your body sinks deeper, or maybe it doesn't. Either way is okay. And you always have the choice of going deeper or of lifting up, or even coming out of the pose if you need to. Especially if you are newer to a yin practice, it may not be comfortable at all for you to hold for the entire time. So always feel free to release at any time that you need to. Something else to think about whenever you feel like you want to come out of the pose is, does your body really need to come out of the pose, or is it just your brain telling you that you can't stay here any longer? Our bodies really can do so much more than our brains think they can, because we start to freak out and go into survival mode sometimes. But if you can just pause and think about which one it really is, then you can make a better choice. Slowly roll up. Keep your legs here with the toes interlaced. And then just tuck your chin down towards your chest, lengthen through the back of the neck. Roll right ear toward right shoulder. Then slowly roll chin to chest again and over to the left side. Take that a few more times, nice and slow. And last one. Bring chin to chest and then lift your head up so you're facing straight forward. You can uncross the toes, plant your feet out wide, knees up, and just sway the knees side to side, shaking that out for a moment. Next, we're coming into a half straddle pose. So bend your left knee in, extend the right leg out to the side. Right knee could be a little bit bent. You could even roll up a blanket and slide it underneath your right knee if that helps you to be more comfortable. So from here, lengthen your spine up and then reach your left arm up and over as you bend toward the right. 2 minutes here. It may not take long for your left arm or your left shoulder to get tired. And when that happens, just bend your elbow, bring your hand behind your head so that your shoulder and arm can relax. We're trying to find length in the left side body and also get a stretch in the right inner thigh. You might also be feeling the right hamstring. If you need to, you could always lower the left arm down, just resting your hands somewhere that's comfortable. Take a couple more deep breaths. Then press your right hand into the mat to help you lift back up to center. And we'll switch sides. So bend your right knee, extend the left leg out, maybe sliding your rolled up blanket underneath the knee. Lengthen up with an inhale. On your exhale, bend toward the left, reaching right arm up and over. When your right arm gets tired, if it does, you can bend the elbow, bring right hand to the back of your head. Try to soften your legs, soften your face. Bringing as much ease into the pose as you can. Feel free to lower your right hand or your right arm down completely if you need to. Find 3 more slow, deep breaths here. Then press into your left hand to help you lift back up to center. Plant your feet wide out in front of you and windshield wiper the knees again. Rinse that out. For our last pose, we'll come back to butterfly legs again, but we're going to be taking a supine version of this. So I like to have blankets underneath my back. So you could use blankets or pillows, even blocks if that's what you have to work with. So soles of the feet together, knees out wide, and remember we're looking for more of a diamond shape in the legs than a super tight butterfly. So feet stretch out farther in front of you, and then just lean back onto your hands at first. Maybe lower down onto the forearms, noticing how it feels at every stage. When you're ready, slowly lower down onto your back. And if this is putting too much pressure on your hips or your knees, you could slide blocks or pillows or some kind of support under the knees. As we're winding down the practice now, just notice what's happening inside your brain. Notice if the thoughts are still coming really quickly, if they were at the beginning of practice. Just becoming aware of what has happened throughout the last several minutes. If your mind is still really busy, no worries at all. Just notice that and just let it be. Try to relax your body even more now, softening through the shoulders. Relax your jaw, letting the teeth part, maybe the lips part. The tongue falls away from the roof of your mouth. Smooth out that space between your eyebrows. Soften all the muscles around your eyes. Relax the eyelids. Let's take 3 final breaths here. And moving nice and slow, plant your forearms behind you as you begin to lift up. Then press into the palms to come all the way back up to a seat. Moving any props that you have underneath your knees. Bring your hands to the outside of your knees to close your legs like a book. Spread the feet out wide. And one more time, windshield wiper the knees side to side. If you have time, lay down flat on your back to take a Shavasana, letting your body soak in the practice. If you don't have that much time left, just come to a comfortable seat. Circle your arms out and up, palms together at the top. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in you. Namaste.